I'm sure most of you, if not all of you in the audience today, have attended a wedding of another, or maybe even your own. A wedding is a celebration of a union between a man and a woman, where they pledge their devotion and commitment to each other for the rest of their lives. The meeting was intended to be a permanent dedication of the union of two lives. However, over the past few decades, the divorce rate has increased, and the number of weddings lasting until death do us part has become increasingly smaller. According to National Vital Statistics report, the divorce rate was 3.6 divorces per 1,000 persons in the year 2007. The amount of marriages per 1,000 persons was 7.3. Therefore, the divorce rate divided by the marriage rate equals to be 49.3%. That means that 49.3% of marriages ended in divorce in the year 2007. That is quite a large number. Those of you in the audience, think back to your marriage career or your parents. I know my parents got divorced, and I know many people who have gotten married and gotten divorced later on in life. These are just facts and statistics. They just give us numbers to support logic. The real topic at hand here is why there are so many divorces. Why are so many people going to the extent of getting married just to break it off down the road? Now, there are many hypothetical explanations we could all ponder at this moment, but I will focus on one: the act of getting married at a young age. This is one explanation of the high percentage of divorces. Today, I will persuade you that people of today's generation and beyond should not get married at a young age. First, I'll relate this to the fact that young people have a large amount of future growth and experience to gain. Second, I will persuade you with the fact that as adolescents mature into adults, their wants and needs change as well. Therefore, two people's similarities in time may also change. Third, I will prove to you that marriage should be reserved for the mature and older adults, to the point that young people still need time to balance and explore their individual economic and social development. These 3 points, with support, will prove my persuasion that people of today's generation and beyond should not get married at a young age. To persuade you that young people should not get married at a young age, we have to define what that young age is. There has been much debate over this topic, simply because one age is different for each person. What I'm doing at 24 isn't what you're going to be doing at 24. Therefore, how can one age, the same one for everyone, be the right age? It can't. However, studies have been conducted to show what qualifies for a better lifestyle for marriage, therefore leading to a happier marriage, therefore leading to less divorces. It is now being proven from USA Today that people are postponing marriage until everything in their life is in working order. This order means after they've finished their education, perhaps after they've begun their career, and increasingly after they've lived with their partner. People are postponing marriage until they think they're ready for it. This usually occurs between the ages of 25 and 30 or older. So many people agree that it is between 25 and 30 or older when most people are likely ready for commitment and less likely to divorce in the end. The goal of postponing marriage for young adults is to decrease the divorce rate. This ultimately means that society will be preserving marriage until they are mature enough to handle a complete commitment, thus proving that young people have a large amount of future growth and experience to gain before they are capable of making a vow as serious as marriage and be able to uphold it. Before the age of 25, people have much learning to do in a very short time. The mentality of an 18-year-old freshman and a 24-year-old graduate are very different. How many of you in the audience today can look back at those two different ages and see your different mindset? I know I can. The learning and experience that people go through and gain during these ages can be classified in different fields. It can be educational, it can be mental, emotional, and physical. The growth of an individual between these years adds to the maturity level of a young adolescent. Therefore, with maturity comes responsibility. People are more likely and more responsible to make a better decision in their life in terms of marriage. They can fully focus on whether the marriage is ready to last long or if they need to work on it instead of going in with indecisions and hesitations. According to Hopeway.org, a marriage consultant site, they provide a marriage checklist to see if those are ready for commitment. Among the top 8 are life goals, education, intellection, cultural interests, and vocation. These are very adult topics that many young adults can't even provide the answer to. An 18-year-old is just viewing life with a taste of freedom. A 21-year-old is just now able to buy beer for the first time legally. The 24-year-old graduate, they just finished college. Why on earth would these young people want to tie themselves down with marriage at such a young age? This proves that young people have a large amount of future growth and experience to gain before they should make the decision to give up their individuality for marriage. As adolescents mature into younger or older adults, their wants and their needs change as well. And two people's similarities may in turn also change over time. The cliche statement that nothing lasts forever can ring true for many things in life, including shallow items such as clothes, cars, and even furniture. Even houses have to be maintained to keep in shape. This cliche also applies to individuals. What a person may have an attraction to in their 20s may not be the same in their 30s. The point I'm simply trying to make here is when two people marry at a young age, as defined above as the age before a person is individually stable, as they grow up, their wants and needs alter with their position in life. Think of how many of you have gotten a tattoo, and when you were younger, and now as you're older, you regret it. Or how many times you rearrange your furniture, or even the color of your clothes. This applies to people as well. The friends you currently have may not always be as well compatible later in life. As everyone grows and changes, similarities change as well. Ultimately, younger people who marry usually face the same situation. They change as they grow, thus leading for a higher chance of divorce. This supports my statement that as adolescents mature into older adults, their wants and their needs change as well, and two people's similarities may also in turn change over time. With that being said, it also shows that marriage should be reserved for the mature and older adults, through the point that young people still need time to balance and explore their individual, economic, and social development. Throughout college and the early 20s, adolescents mature mentally in their desires for their development. According to HubPages.com, in an article on marriage, it states that in the 1980s, when a woman was born in the 60s, if she pursued a higher education or a successful business career, then she would be less likely to marry. It used to be felt that men were unwilling to marry an educated, independent woman. However, that is no longer true. Now, ladies, in all reality, wouldn't you feel more secure and confident if you knew you could take care of yourself whether or not you were married? Developing your independence helps you to develop your individuality. Now, a part of developing your individuality is continuing your education. Education provides a better chance of obtaining a higher paying career, thus placing people in a higher social standard. Marriages with balanced financial settings usually sustain longer lasting relationships. Education plays a major role. According to Newsweek, researchers show it's been proven that the older people are when they marry, the more likely the marriage will last. When a man with only a high school diploma marries by age 20, there's a 49% chance that he will divorce within 10 years. Compare that with a man who gets married in his mid-30s who has a college degree, 90% will still be married 10 years later. It is not stated definitely that if you go to college, you are more likely to get and stay married longer. Statistics support the fact that those who get married after they obtain a college degree are more likely to choose a relationship for marriage that will last longer. This is because during the college years, young adults grow up significantly. This is a time that is highly needed for them to explore life and their decisions before making such important, long-lasting decisions such as marriage. This proves that marriage should be reserved for the mature and older adults because young people still need time to balance and explore their individual, economic, and social development. As we have discussed above, marriage is a very important part of life that should be treated with care and seriousness. There are many factors that play a role in reasons why marriages don't succeed. I chose to focus only on one today and persuade you that people of today's generation and beyond should wait and get married at an older age. I stated that young people have a larger amount of future growth and experience to gain. They need to explore their life and their interests. I also stated that as adolescents mature into older adults, their wants and their needs change. This also applies to individuals. Two people's similarities may in turn change over time. This gives reasons as to why to wait until an older age to marry. Our perceptions of life change as we grow up. Lastly, I stated that marriage should be reserved from the mature and older adults to the point that young people still need time to balance and explore their individual, economic, and social development.